Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Good morning again, everybody there in Farmville. I hope Barry is hearing the Call Flow Show intro music. Make sure.
It's like the Tonight Show. You gotta have it.
That's right, yeah.
Larry.
Holy moly.
Sorry.
I'm going to have to turn you down.
Yeah, you might have to turn me down.
I turned you down so many times. You kept asking me out, I know. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. All right, just talking to him. How are you doing this morning?
You're too masculine. All right. I'm doing all right.
All right, I'll take that as a compliment. No problem.
You're having too much of Eastwood.
Yeah.
The weather.
Make my day. Ooh-wee, it is Tuesday already.
It is.
We're just like jumping into June.
January.
See, that's just a total indication of where my brain...
It'll be here before you know it.
That's right. So, let's see. Where do you want to start? You got some...
From the beginning.
You got some news there?
I was just looking at the PayPal.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. They had a great article. It looked like it was on the front page about the White Bird Appaloosa community. Those folks were in here. Mm-hmm. Wonderful people. Tom and George do a fantastic job out there. And I think they told us a story when we went out there that they were tasked basically to rescue these 60 horses. And so they had to work to... get homes for all these horses, and it sounds like they've just now completed that entire project. So good on them, for sure. And they're having a tax sale coming up as a fundraiser. So if you don't, I don't have that date right on me right now, but hey, you can always look it up at White Bird Appaloosa on Facebook. So that's there. Another article was the 46307 crashes. I guess there was 2 of them within 2 days. Nobody died, but it sounded like somebody had to be cut out of a car. And I guess this has been a problem for a while now because they started a study. It seemed like it was 2 years ago. And they're just finally figuring out that they have to do something about that. I guess I'm just kind of throwing what little information I had out there. So hopefully they will fix that situation. And we all wish probably that it had been done before it has been by now. Oh, another article was the Piedmont Senior Resources was granted a grant for $150,000 to continue their work that they do to get elderly people to the hospital who can't, low income and just need some help there. So good on those folks. I know that they do a lot of work out there a lot of the time. So a lot of work a lot of the time. I think I lost Johnny here.
No, I'm this thing on.
Oh yeah. We should turn it up in your...
No, it's just I don't really hear it in my headset very well.
Okay.
I'm deaf.
What?
I'm deaf. Go ahead. No, I'm listening to what you're saying.
Really? Are you fascinated? Just beyond?
Yeah, right there on the arm.
Yeah, right there. I see it. It's all over there. So there's another article. This is on the AP side of the thing. And it was talking about Japan investing a lot more into hydrogen. Hydrogen as a fuel. And I've followed the hydrogen fuel cells for years, probably over a decade, and it's the most frustrating thing I've had to endure onto myself because they just keep saying, oh, we made this breakthrough. It's going to be for everybody. It's going to be, it solves all our problems. This is 10 years ago. They were saying the exact same thing that they're saying now. But
right.
I think that anybody who's a scientist and, considering the idea of space, since space is filled with hydrogen, that's a pretty good call to make, a process of making fuel out of hydrogen, which they already do right now. But I don't know how efficient that process is. And it's not efficient enough to get them to like Mars or wherever else we may want to explore.
The space modulator.
Did you watch those Did you watch space shows when you were a kid? Star Trek.
By the time I came along, Next Gen had started up. pretty much. To
Oh.
where when what I mean is by the time I'm watching TV on my own type of thing. So that show was on, and I remember kind of liking that show.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I didn't watch it all the time. It was in syndication for one thing. By the time I saw it, I liked that show, and I never really warmed up to the original series until later. I was interested in it, but I never really wasn't something we watched at home. We watched Westerns. We watched, of that same era, as a matter of fact, which I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent. Not
you.
Just a little bit.
No, I don't.
What was interesting to me was the show that my dad loved to watch, that he had me watch with him, was a show called The Wild Wild West with Robert Conrad and Ross Martin, who was Artemis Gordon. So, make a long story short, what I discovered was what was interesting about shows like that, Batman at roughly the same era, Star Trek as well. Those three shows were kind of on about the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
They used the same actresses. They used the same writers in some instances.
Yeah.
Hence why those shows, if you look at it close, are very similar in some aspects of the shows.
Yeah, there's a formula.
Yeah, and I found that very interesting. So yeah, I ended up. But go back to you. I assume you did. You watched.
Oh
that stuff.
yeah. You know, every day. Absolutely, Star Trek was the thing. Captain Kirk, you know, my hero, of course. Spock just being, you know, Leonard Nimoy ended up being one of the most interesting characters to me. Not necessarily on the show, but in real life. He's just an interesting cat. So I appreciated him quite a bit. But let's see. So I was looking it up. All right, so I look up. All right, how much of the universe is hydrogen? And I got an answer, and it said that it is 92% of the universe is hydrogen, and then the other 8% is there for the heavier elements that we exist within, which I thought was interesting because not too long ago I saw another article, and I think it was a newer article that was talking about dark energy and dark matter, and that dark energy is 68% of the universe, and dark matter is 27% of the universe. So I'm trying to figure out how those can all be true at the same time.
Well,
what's your answer?
The only thing I can say is that the dark side is something you want to try to avoid.
Do we, though? I mean...
Well, if you're a Jedi.
Oh, yeah, of course. Which I am. But
well, then you know what I'm talking about.
You know, I'm a head-on confrontation. I'm not going to avoid it. You know, it's just like, hey, you're dark side, so I'm going to get you. No, the universe just fascinates me. It really does. Do you ever go outside at night, look at the stars, and have this sort of overwhelming feeling that you're completely and utterly insignificant, but at the same time you're connected to it all? You know, I love that feeling. So.
Well, it makes you realize, where you really stand. in the mix.
Exactly. And to me, it makes all the problems seem insignificant. You know, all the stuff we look at every day that gets us all jacked up is so ludicrously unimportant.
I always think that, we think we've come so far, and yet we can't go but so far out.
No, I don't know. What do you think about then the exploration of Mars? Really?
Well, not any time.
You naysayer, you.
Well, if we could, we would, right?
We are working on it, actually.
But it should be happening, is what I'm saying. It shouldn't be, someday we'll get over there.
No, it's cool because SpaceX's mission is to get us to Mars.
I find it fascinating. We went supposedly in the 60s. If you some people are not so sure about that. But let's just say we did.
Well, we did.
We haven't gotten much further since then, and that's been a long time now.
Well, no, we never went back there, too, until recently. And then I find it interesting that China went to the dark side of the moon and set up, I'm serious.
What are you insinuating?
And they set up a camp out there. So it's, I don't know. It's
Tell you what,
all right, what's
we better watch our step here, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what way?
I think China is looking to
rule the world.
I wouldn't. Well, I'm not going to say no, but I'm just saying they seem to be testing the waters. Let's say.
Ah, very good. Yeah. You're referring to the ship. incident.
Yeah.
And what was our response? China, you should make better decisions.
They'll heed that, I'm sure.
They're shivering and
they're quaking in their boots right now.
Well, and it all has to do with money. It all has to do with Taiwan. And I think I've told the story before. I used to go to China a lot for business. And talking to these guys, they're sort of diabolically separated about the Taiwan is part of China or Taiwan is on its own accord. But, I mean, since a lot of our manufacturing is in Taiwan, it's in our interest, obviously, to protect it so we get the same deals and we've always gotten from them. But, I mean, China manufactures just as much as Taiwan does these days. So it's I don't know. It's an interesting story to keep an eye on, but I don't know. I just can't imagine there being an actual conflict there that results into just killing each other. I don't know. I mean, like Ukraine, Russia.
I don't know.
I just can't.
I would like
to
to go down that path and think that way.
Yeah.
But I see too much craziness in this world sometimes.
But how much is the media just sensationalizing? Two ships meet in the ocean and it's become this big incident. And who knows, on the other side of that coin, it could be that we don't even know nearly what's actually going on.
Yeah, let's put. I tend to think more that way. Yeah, we know that story, but there's probably a million more that we don't know anything about.
There always is, isn't there? There always is. And that's actually a good thing to take out into the world. Like when somebody's cutting you off or driving really slow, you don't know what that person's up to. You don't know their state of mind or what's happening.
I don't realize they just don't care that I'm, riding along.
I notice you have that sign on your car. This is John Staten. Do me good. Treat me right. Treat me right.
That's who did that? That was
I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I can't think of his name.
Bang. Did you? It was always
James Taylor.
Oh yeah. What do you
do
think?
Me wrong? Do me wrong? Or something.
Do you like
that?
James Taylor?
He's okay. When I was younger, I didn't like that light fluff type music.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I appreciate for what kind of like the certain groups and Beatles and stuff like that. There's the Byrds, who I always thought were kind of
I agree with that.
Or Bread.
I liked Bread actually,
but it's one of those things where if you hold me up to a radio speaker at 13 and go, "Hey, John, what do you think of this?" It doesn't sound like Van Halen. I was very narrow-minded, like
really?
A lot.
Surprised at that.
Are you really?
No.
Well, I can't be a free thinker like you. I mean,
we all can't be this far off.
Somebody's got to hold it down.
Somebody's got to stay sane. Oh my goodness!
No, I was way more narrow-minded as a kid.
No, I agree. And all of those things bands that you were referring to, I take as like folk music.
Mostly, yeah.
There was
a time somebody would say Eagles, and I'd kind of go, eh.
Yeah.
But now I've learned to really, it's just one of those things where you mature and you change as you get older a bit in your likes and whatnot.
Talk about yourself, then. I mean,
No, some people got it right away. I guess but I used to always say that about myself. I was always late to the party about certain things.
Yeah, I did a lot of those band songs because I did that kind of, campfire, sit around a campfire, let's do a sing-along.
See, I didn't have that. I didn't have all that. Me
great.
And you and a dog named Boo, campfires with Larry Burr.
A dog named Boo. I love that line. I think that's just awesome. Oh my goodness. So, I guess that's where I'm at. I made another note. I don't know why I did this. Oh, okay. What was it? It had to do something with like feeding everybody in the world, and but anyway, I looked up the statistic. It was like, how many billionaires are there in the United States? Mm-hmm. And there's 770 billionaires, and that's higher than I would have anticipated, but doesn't really surprise me. What sort of surprised me was that there's 5.3 millionaires in the U.S., and so I was just thinking all those people could do a lot of work. I think maybe I was thinking about the influx of I don't want to call them aliens. Are they aliens?
Oh, you mean the illegals?
I don't know if they're really illegal anymore or right now. They just crossed the border from Mexico, and so they're.
But if they're
like,
not citizens, wouldn't that be considered illegal?
Well, I think you have to go through a process to become legal.
But if they're not going through the process,
well, yeah.
I guess that's what I'm saying. If they've gone through the process, that's one thing. If they haven't, that's another.
Right. With the influx, I think it's been hard to kind of manage or regulate any of that.
I'm dumb enough to think that there's people out there that have those jobs that have to be doing that sort of thing. And if they're not, then I have a complaint about that. I have to do my job.
Right.
Why aren't you doing your job?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's what makes the world go around.
Oh, it sounds like a song to me. Makes the world go round. I've got It's a Small World stuck in my head.
It's a small world
after
You get a
all.
good effect on that box there for
It's
that.
a small world. Oh, yeah, the chipmunks. One of these days, they'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, the number to call us, if you'd like to call in and let us know what's happening, give us the latest news, let us know that you're all doing well. It is 434-394-0924, and we would seriously love to hear from you. I was going to head into the National Day calendar. What do you think about that? We have several of them on.
All right.
And I don't know if we need to ponder them very much, but
Ponder.
the first one is Russian Language Day, and that seems to be
We
self-evident.
may be speaking it.
But the funny thing about this one is the little caption or the little picture that they have of two Russian people. They look like characters out of South Park. I swear they do. It's like, okay, that's one way to do it. World Pest Day. Pest. P-E-S-T. A lot of little critters and bugs and stuff out there. Mm-hmm. So many people I know just can't stand those little critters and bugs, and there are some that freak me out. And Virginia has some of the largest bugs I've ever seen in my entire life, and it's a little bit scary. I think the other day one came down and tried to take our dog, tried to pick it up. All right. National Day of Sweden. All right. We can enjoy Sweden. Sweden's one of those places that has a really good work thing going on. Like they work 4 days a week.
That's because we're Swedish.
Exactly. Oh,
that was the chef
Oh, yeah.
on Muppets.
That's right. That's exactly who it was. Oh, the Muppets. Oh,
Always looked like he was cutting his fingers when he got to chopping
exactly.
real fast.
I think he.
I got nervous as a kid. I don't like my salad with thumbs in it.
Ooh, it's D-Day. That didn't strike me. My son probably woke up and go, "Hey, it's D-Day." So I mean, that's some of the stuff that he likes.
Did you see where the doomsday clock is getting closer? Did you see that?
No. How's that happening?
I don't know. Somebody keeps pushing it.
Oh wow!
Let me adjust this clock here.
Let's turn back time. All right. National Eyewear Day. Hey. This is all about...
Oh, yeah.
I see you're wearing those all the time,
actually,
too.
well, except for yesterday when I forgot them. I left them at home.
Yeah.
I'm still not quite in the habit of having them on me at all times.
I'm just so used to... they're by my bedside. I can't see without them.
Well, you're a lifer. How long have you had glasses?
I actually had to wear them when I was a kid. So there you go. 6 years old. But
wow, so how in the world, as a kid, were you able to explain, hey... was it pretty easy to say I can't see this, and
no.
And they said we need to get you glasses and all that?
I have no idea how they figured that out.
Okay,
I was a little dyslexic,
right?
But, most geniuses.
That's what I find amazing about babies and stuff that have like these issues. Unless a doctor's purposely going in looking for stuff, how in the world do you figure that stuff out?
That reminds me of my niece's son. He's been battling leukemia.
I remember you telling me.
He started at 1, and it's already a year later, and he's gone through 10 rounds of chemo, and it's just like they're like, I think at this stage it's just like enough's enough. We can't do anymore, and it's not fair to the kid to do it.
Well, 10's a lot. I was supposed to have 7, and I only took 3 because my body just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And I was older, obviously. I was in my early 20s, so I can't imagine taking 10 treatments of that's just that's a lot
for anybody.
Anybody,
and like you said, with children, they usually up the ante because they have
which I did not know until I went through my ordeal. I had no clue. I didn't know, but it made sense. They're basically saying there's just stronger.
Right.
Immune system.
Right.
Well, it's like because when you're a kid, when you were playing in school, you ran into a wall and you laughed it off and kept going.
Exactly. How many times? I don't know why I remembered this. Sorry. How many times did you stub your fingers? What's the word for that? Jam your fingers up and.
Usually, if a ball was involved, like
exactly.
a football or something like that,
always.
This pinky got kind of jammed and dislocated years ago, and I had to get the guy to pull it.
Oh,
it was one way going one way and one way going the other.
Oh my goodness!
But you know what? I didn't have issues like that until after my treatments. So
really?
I wonder if maybe my body had gotten kind of weaker.
Yeah.
Because I never
would make sense.
I didn't have broken bones and stuff like that growing up as a kid. So I don't know. And then I noticed after the treatments, I was starting to fall apart.
You're lucky to be here.
Yes, I am.
You're really you're like a case study, is what you.
Well, I think they wanted to do something like that, and I put the kibosh on that.
Not happening. Yeah, not at all. Well, yeah. I won't tell that story.
Okay.
It's about my twin sister and her tailbone, but we'll let that go.
I like how you just left that subtle hint of what it was, and then all right, let's move on.
You gotta leave your audience wanting more.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm a big believer in that.
Hey, our audience is still out there. And
are they?
434 3940924. Yeah, you can give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Let's move on. National Higher Education Day. Yes, indeed. I actually saw they were giving awards away from some local kids that did well in their schools, got on the president's list and the honor roll list. I made the national honor rolls list when I graduated because my GPA was above 3.5. So I am part of the National Golden Key Society.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, good for you. La-di-da.
Well, now higher education now has taken on a completely different, I think, purpose or, the way, because of the cost of it, people can't afford it anymore. And I think a lot more trade schools are coming into play. And I think it's more...
Well, you know what? That's not a bad thing.
No, I think that's a fantastic thing. And I think more people are, training... Heck, man, I knew some HVAC people. A good friend of mine owned a company, his HVAC. But his employees were making $80,000, $90,000 a year after just a few years, and they're part of a union, so they're getting a pension afterwards. And boy, I wish I had sometimes taken a different path.
Oh, I wish I had some sort of interest in anything because when I was coming up, they actually still had that vocational type stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any interest in any of it, not one bit. And so and I realize now, looking back, that was a dumb move on my part not to.
Yeah.
I should have taken something. I should have done something.
Well, and I think the military is actually probably one of the biggest trainers for people. I mean, I went in for aviation electronics, but I learned the electronics, which should have carried into the rest of my life, and it has as far as being able to fix things, but it never became a career, which I kind of wish it had. But it's not easy to get a job at an airport as an electronics technician. I tried. But
you did try. Okay.
I tried. But I always lived near a small airport, so I thought about going out here, but then I went golfing and I looked at the airport. It's like 3 buildings. If that, have you ever been out there?
Mm-mm.
It was interesting. I don't know if they sold the airport. I think there was discussion about it.
Okay.
I can't remember if it was Doug Stanley or Mayor Vincent, which, by the way, is coming in tomorrow.
Okay, so you have a guest tomorrow.
Oh, no. He's coming in Friday. Tomorrow our guest is the Farmville Township group that
Gosh,
need
you
to
have
get
multiple people in here.
I need to get the exact name of that organization that's coming in. We see him all the time. You know, the gentleman who does the dog. He brought in that flyer for you and
Yes.
gave it to you. Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you remember what?
No,
that name-
because I have a bad memory.
But they have a flyer. So
I'm bad with names.
Yeah.
Faces, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Names, I need work.
yeah. Well, it's National Applesauce Cake Day.
Applesauce cake. You know, I may have actually had that before.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe.
Huh.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Applesauce. I like applesauce sometimes.
Sometimes.
Do you like cinnamon on your applesauce? Just, you know.
I'm sure I've had that, but I'm used to just straight out of the jar.
Oh, my. I just picture you with your fingers. Like,
I was never that. I mean, applesauce is fine. It wasn't something I craved.
Yeah.
Or anything. But it was okay.
it's like never something I
Now,
would-
my grandmother used to make like that homemade kind of stuff, and,
Yeah.
she'd freeze it, and then you get it cold, and it was pretty good like that.
Like an apple popsicle?
Well-
Applesauce popsicle?
You know, she'd let it thaw a bit, but so it.
No, I know what
you
you're
could have
saying.
it with a spoon, but cold like that, it was really good.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds really good.
Had like a little bit of ice, in it. You crunch on it a little bit.
So, those people out there, it's good day to make an applesauce cake. Do you like zucchini?
I can't say I'm a big
Cake and-
zucchini guy. No.
But it all, to me, kind of comes down to it usually tastes like cinnamon or ginger.
Oh,
or
does
usually
it?
ginger or
Okay.
cinnamon. One of those two, you can make anything.
Just cut out the middleman and get cinnamon then.
Yeah, exactly. Just pour it down the throat. All right.
Let me hear.
National Drive-In Movie Day. Does Farmville have a drive-in movie? Or Dillwyn?
No, Dylan definitely doesn't. The closest, there's one. There used to be one past Arvonia, but I don't know if that's still in operation or not.
Did you go as a kid?
I remember being taken to it as a kid, but not. I don't remember which one because I was so young. All I remember was the film we actually saw was Smokey and the Bandit 3.
Hey, you can't go wrong there.
I remember even at that young of an age going, this doesn't look good. This isn't good at all.
This is not happening. I loved the drive-in theater, especially once I got a car.
Well, it helps.
But it's a great place to take a date, It's
I like the concept. I always liked it in movies and stuff,
Yeah.
where especially if they were like 50s movies and they were showing you what it was like to have that sort of thing. I like the concept. I always thought it was neat, but by the time I came around, they were starting to kind of go away.
Yeah. My mom and dad used to take us to them. I think after a while, there's 6 of us in the family. I think they ask us not to come back. No.
Wow.
We get a little rowdy. I'm just kidding.
Get a little rowdy.
But can you imagine taking 4 young children to the...
What were you yelling at the projectionist? Focus! Focus!
Yeah. Bring our own popcorn. It was a good
Bring your own popcorn. That might have been why they weren't too happy with it. Oh, got your own snacks, eh?
I think, they should
Let's
bring
all
back
go
to
out to the lobby, except if you're Larry Bird's family.
Larry Birds.
I knew I was going to call you Larry Bird at some point. Well, you're calling me Jason Statham there for a while, so
That's true. I'm gonna continue that trend.
continue.
It's also, there's only 2 more, I swear. National Gardening Exercise Day. I hadn't really-
Gardening exercise.
Yeah, so...
Okay, plants 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
Let's see what they're... I can kind of understand what they're talking about, but let's see exactly what they tell us here. Gardening National encourage us to maximize the health benefits of gardening. Today we encourage people to get off the couch and tend their gardens while getting some fresh air, which is exactly what I imagined it would be. But it is a good day to get out there, get something done. Farmville, Virginia, all this area, they have quite a bit of... we went way over. We went way over our half-hour moment in time. The last one is National Yo-Yo Day. I love yo-yos. We can get back to yo-yos at some time. Let's see if our weather's still looking good. Yes.
My name is
we still have no bananas today.
Yes, we have no.
Oh, that group is the Farmville Downtown Partnership, and they're going to be on the show tomorrow morning. So I'm looking forward to that and finding out what they have going on and is happening. Let's see. The temperature right now is 65 degrees. And it's going to get up to 85 with mostly sunny skies. And tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 58. On Wednesday, partly sunny with a 30% chance of showers later on and a high of 78. On Wednesday night, a 30% chance of showers continues with mostly cloudy skies and a low of 53. On Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it is going to be sunny with a high of 79 on Thursday. Overnight, low of 52. Sunny on Friday with a high of 79. And Friday night, mostly clear with a low of 53. And on Saturday, it is going to be sunny with a high of 84. And that brings us to the birthday calendar. Yes, the birthday calendar is brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC.
The law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, business formations, and collections. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
Ooh, that music's so soothing.
Okay. Birthdays for Tuesday, right?
Tuesday
the 6th. Yeah.
D-Day.
Well, you know what? I don't really have any birthdays.
No birthdays today.
But
do you have an anniversary?
Yes, I do. Oh, yeah.
Let me play the anniversary music.
That's the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Bob and Ruth Ann Horn having an anniversary today. Bob and Ruth Ann Horn.
Awesome. Bob and Ruth. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
And if today is your birthday or anniversary and you didn't make our list, well, not on this list, and it is your day, happy birthday, happy anniversary.
Well, and if you wanted it on the list, you could always send that to general@wflo.net or birthdays@wflo.net. You can mail it here to 217 West 3rd, that's Farmville, 23901.
We take smoke signals, any way you can get us that information.
And, finally, what they could do is just call us up right now, 434-394-0924. And we will wish you a happy birthday, as will Farmville. All right, where were we? Yo-yos.
Yeah, we were up and down on that one.
I can't believe you just said that.
Well,
actually, I can. It's really kind of, yeah.
Were you good at it? Yo-yo?
I had a little period of time that, I had a best friend who was a genius and wild and crazy. I don't know. He'd always get into these things like yo-yos, and then the rest of us would kind of follow along. But
there used to be a commercial you would see all the time for those things way back in the day, and I'm trying to remember what the company was that made them. It wasn't Whammo or something. That's more like a Frisbee.
Are they the clicker, the clacker thing?
I don't remember it, but I remember specifically there used to be old commercials for yo-yos and stuff like that. And it was some company that would make that certain brand and all that sort of stuff.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It was a big deal at way back. I'm guessing late 70s, early 80s, I'm guessing.
But you know how many of these toys... I mean, the yo-yo was originally a weapon. And so, do you remember the clacker thing with the two balls and you'd clack, 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 clack? That was a weapon also. They had to discontinue making those because too many children died.
Good grief.
Yeah, it was not good.
Well, I keep pondering. There's Slinky. I remember that commercial. It's Slinky, and all that sort of stuff. And
what was that?
Slinky. You remember Slinky, right?
Actually, we were at Walmart the other day, and they have these gigantic plastic Slinkies for sale.
I remember when they weren't plastic.
Oh, yeah. How long did yours last?
The metal?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the one I played with was something that my aunt or somebody who was older than me, it was probably theirs. because I don't remember going around. I want a Slinky. It just happened to be there.
Right.
When I would go to my grandmother's house, I think it was probably one down in the basement, and I would always make it go down the steps and do
Of course,
that thing
yeah.
So.
It sucked if you didn't have steps.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, ours used to last about a day at tops. And
A
then
day?
But then they would get all twisted up.
True.
Did yours ever get
yeah,
that
because I
way?
used to love to make it coil and
Exactly.
throw it out and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I remember my brother being so mad at me for ruining his Twinkie. Or-
Larry, leave it alone.
Not his Twinkie, his Slinky.
I'd be mad if you stole my Twinkie. You got to have
Yeah, I
that yellow
see
dye
that.
number 5 in your system. You can't just not eat a Twinkie.
Let's see. What do we have here? We have signs of intelligence. We have odd news and funny news stories. We could go through there. World's largest crocodile, because people need to know this, is estimated
Is
to
that
be...
the one that's like 100-something years old?
Yeah, when
Yeah.
did you see that?
Last night when I was sort of just surfing on the net.
Texas girl graduates at 14. That's pretty young.
Yeah.
Then it reminds me of Doogie Howser, though. Doogie was even younger. So,
Yeah, I guess he was.
and he was a doctor. He's still doing stuff these days. He's just so
I
recognizable.
never thought he would have a career after that
I didn't either.
show.
Because the show was so bad, or what?
Well, at the time, I didn't realize how bad it was, but I've gone back and watched it, and because I'm like, I remember this being on when I was younger, and I watched it, and I was like, yeah, that's not hitting on much.
There's a headline here: 680.
Though I did think that nurse was hot on that show.
I don't remember her.
If you watched it, you would.
Go back and take a look. There were 685 people dressed as Spider-Man and gathered in a Malaysia mall. That would have been interesting to see. But it also makes me wonder what's going on in
Duncan Yo-Yo. That's who did it. Duncan.
Oh, Duncan, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? Mine had the little. I had several of them, but you know the kinds that flared out.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
Everybody wanted one of those.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, I got.
I don't think I ever had one, but I do remember seeing them on TV.
Yeah. But you had.
Had just regular
right, yeah.
yo-yos.
Were you good?
Nah.
Nah.
I never got that good at it.
Yeah, you couldn't do the little baby carriage.
Never tried
walk.
that. Never really tried that. To me it was just the simple go up, go down.
Get it to spin at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bring it back up. Absolutely, way fun. Let me see. I'm not enjoying that one all that much. It is a site that's supposed to having interesting stories, and they're kind of strange. So, woman walking on California beach finds ancient mastodon tooth. That is bizarre. That is a little strange. Did you ever get into dinosaurs when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, I was into that stuff.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Yep, I would have these books that my grandmother would get, and they were called Worldcraft, if I recall. It was tied in with the encyclopedia collections they had, and there was like at least one that was specifically all about dinosaurs and stuff like that. And I love to look at the pictures. I love to draw the dinosaur. You know, I was just like any other young boy. I loved dinosaurs growing up.
I don't remember getting into them when I was.
I mean,
a child,
I like the idea of them. I thought that was cool that they existed and all that sort of stuff. And T-Rex was my favorite. So when the Jurassic Park first one came out, I was elated.
Oh yeah.
Now, granted, I was probably a teenager by that point because that was like 90 something. So, but even still, I was like, and that first one still holds a special place in my heart because that was the first time you got somewhat of an idea of what it would have been like had they been around and existed with man and all that sort of stuff.
I loved them. My son just loved dinosaurs, and
I'm glad they're not here though.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
I don't know. It depends on which ones, you know.
Well, if we're going to be picky and we can choose, the plant eating would be fine, but. I tell you what, man, I didn't know about raptors growing up. Though.
Oh, really?
I was always about the big ones, T-Rex and stuff like that. You see that movie and you see what the raptors can do? They're not that big, but man, they're fast and vicious.
Nasty little creatures they are.
I tell you what.
You don't want to come across one of those
No.
late at night when
Nope.
it's dark outside. No, sir. All right.
Raptor, boy.
Yeah, you're right. I enjoyed those two, the Jurassic Park ones. And my son got into... So one of the things that they had when my son was born that they didn't have when I was born, at least never came across it, these like dinosaur eggs that are made out of clay. Mm-hmm. And and the kids get to kind of tap around, expose the dinosaur
right.
Coming out. But my son got so into that, he started digging outside in our pasture, and the kid found a cow's head, complete cow's head, and he completely uncovered it, was brushing it off. He'd seen it somewhere, and he's like, "Dad, hey, check out what I found." I was baffled. I was totally amazed that he had done that good of a job of archaeology.
You got it.
I told you about the saliva thing before, right?
Yeah. How much we shoot out.
Mm-hmm. How much? So, how about entertainment news? There's one here, the Foo Fighters, Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy. Do you know Fall Out Boy?
I've heard the name. I couldn't tell you a song by them, but I've heard the name before.
Okay. Kelly Clarkson, which I'm still completely amazed that she's got the career that she has at this stage. I mean, she's talented and everything.
Right.
She has her own TV show.
She did. I don't know if she still does or not.
I think she did.
Okay.
Yeah, you might be right. Kane Brown. Kane Brown.
Heard the name.
Lil Wayne.
Heard the name.
So they're headlining in an iHeart Radio Festival.
Aha.
So I'm wondering, is this a virtual festival or is this a live?
This day and age, it could very well be.
It's a music festival in Las Vegas, which will be broadcast, I guess, live throughout the country. So I would like to see video with that. I don't know if it's is it just audio? It still could be
good
cool.
question. I would think that there would be video, but who knows?
The Actors Guild is still on strike, so it hasn't really affected...
The writers or the actors?
The Actors Guild.
I didn't know
votes
that.
to authorize strike as writers' strike continues. So now it's everybody wants more money. Of course.
Well, make better product and you might get it.
I want more money.
Make better product and you'll get it.
If you knew what you were doing, Larry, you might get some kind of... let's see. There's Prince Harry gets his day in court. I don't even really know what that one's
What's
about.
going on with that?
I should have read
That guy,
into
for
it.
somebody that has a position that is rendered meaningless, he's in the news an awful lot.
I know. I love it. I love it.
You do? To me, it's like,
Absolutely.
who cares?
I don't think he wants it.
If he doesn't want it, then he could be Farmer Ted somewhere down the street and mind his own business.
Mind his... Farmer Ted. Hey, Farmer Ted, Farmer Ted, you need to you need to mind your own business.
Farmer Ted.
Oh, there's a book review here. Oh, that actually reminds me. I talked to Fran last night, and he's just about ready to release his novel.
Cool.
So, and he's working on a couple more. I think he really would like to hit that 50 book mark, which I find an incredible accomplishment in anybody's life. So
I couldn't imagine writing one, much less 50.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's amazing. And just hearing his voice again was good. I haven't talked to him in a long time. And it's hard for him to talk. So to be like, yeah. The only reason I was talking to him, he called me up to warn me not to eat the fish. Which I appreciated immensely,
Yeah.
Actually, I think he saw somebody going over there fishing, wondering if it was me, making sure. So good. They're going on vacation today.
That's right. Chris will not be here this
Right.
week, and she won't be doing the Hit Train on Saturday, so I'll be filling in, and she won't be doing the Sunday. I don't know who's filling in for that, if anyone's filling in at all.
Yeah.
We'll make something happen and work. We'll put liners and sweepers in if we have to. We'll do something.
We'll do something, absolutely. So I hope they have a great time. I think they're going out to the beach. So,
I hope so.
That would be fantastic. Oakland A's, Oakland Athletics, the baseball team.
The one you don't like.
Yeah, they're on the other.
See, I remember.
They're on the other side of the bay. The bay is definitely divided, and I was on the right side. Actually, it's kind of more to the left side, but that's a whole different story. They've been trying to move to Vegas for a long time, and so I guess it's still in flux. The whole Nevada...
Just like the football team. Because
Right.
at one point, the Raiders were Oakland, right?
Uh-huh, exactly. I mean, they grew up as Oaklanders, I believe.
I think it started off as Oakland.
Yeah, I do too, but, I
don't think they went to I don't think they became the Los Angeles Raiders until like the 80s or
But then
something.
they moved... I thought then they moved...
And then they moved back.
again. Yeah.
And then they...
Now they're in...
That's Al Davis for you. Who's no longer running the team because he's no
Never
longer
was.
on the planet.
Never was a Raiders fan.
Raiders.
It always seemed like there was the Raiders. Their people always seemed to like be violent.
No, they were wearing like things out of Mad Max and whatnot.
Yeah.
Wearing these football pads with spikes coming off of it. Looked like the Road Warriors or
Well, and
something.
if you lived in Frisco, you'd see these. You get these articles all the time or reports about 15 Oakland Raiders fans were arrested for turning over cars. And,
Well, we got that here with the Eagles fans.
Yeah.
On the East Coast.
oh, it's Eagles. Oh, oh Lord. Cheers. Did you watch it?
Not really. Enough to know the show, but I was not a fan.
I enjoyed it, and so many things spawned out of that. I mean, there was quite a few.
Especially when I was younger, entertainment and TV shows and stuff like that, if it was really popular kind of like across the board, if I had this feeling of, I'm supposed to like this because everybody else likes it, which I no longer hold to those types of thoughts, but
Not your standard.
but no. But I don't know. And so when I would watch something like that because, this is what's popular and everybody likes it, and then I would not really get it, I would wonder, okay, what's wrong with me if everybody else seems to like it?
Well, that list is long.
Yes,
So,
but distinguished.
It's a distinguished list of why John is wrong. She's wrong in so many ways. I'm wrong in so many ways, too. Who knows? Shall we have a competition? Who's wrong in more wrong ways? Or, yeah. So anyway, the reason I asked that is the bar sells for $650,000 at a Dallas auction.
It's an actual. You mean the bar? Just the bar itself?
It says the Cheers bar sells for $650,000.
I would imagine that was a set.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it says garnering the highest bid among nearly 1,000 props, costumes, and sets from the TV classic show offered up from the collection amassed by one man over more than 3 decades. Interesting.
Did you ever go to a taping of any show when you were out in California?
I did, and I'm still trying to remember what that show was. It was a weird time.
The only one, well, technically 2. When we went out in the '94, which would have been the year I graduated, I saw the
Hollywood.
Yeah, I saw a taping of Coach.
Oh,
you
nice.
You remember that show?
Oh yeah.
And we saw the Tonight Show. Jay Leno was hosting by that point.
That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
Those were the 2, because I wanted to do something like that. And at the time, I remember watching Coach. So it wasn't like, let's just go to a random show. It was actually, I was like, let's go to an actual show I'm actually used to seeing, and it was neat. I liked it. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't know, but see, I was into that sort of stuff. I was into how movies or shows were made and all that sort of stuff.
Did you go to Universal?
Yeah, we hit all the studios.
Sweet. Yeah. I lived on Cadillac and La Cienega, and so I was like right below Beverly Hills. It only took me about 10, 15 minutes to get to the studio, Cherokee Studios up there. But I used to go up to Sunset Boulevard or Hollywood Boulevard and cruise around, walk around.
What was funny
so.
was one of the sets was a Western set, and we went into what was the saloon, and we were going to take a picture on the bar, sitting on the bar, my sister and me. And I get to looking behind the bar, and I see a plate of food that had been eaten, and someone just left it there. And I was like, well, that's not a prop. That looks like somebody actually ate some chicken or something like that.
That's funny. Did you taste it? Was it good?
No, it looked like it had already been taken care of. No, I didn't partake.
One of the guys I worked with, Andre Andreas. He played in a band with one of the 90210 characters.
The guy that ended up on that show, The Heights, maybe?
I don't remember. See, this is my problem. It's hard for me to remember these things. But I used to go to his gigs all the time, and his gigs would draw in quite a few stars and stuff. So it was kind of nice. Just seeing people in their own, I
remember seeing two people from Wings on one of the tours where we were walking around. It might have been Universal. I don't remember what production company did Wings. Well, I wasn't a big fan of Wings. I didn't really watch it, but I knew the people on it. So it was like the guy and the girl that were on that show. And I was walking slowly behind the group because I was taking in everything that we were seeing.
Right.
I wasn't just wanting to walk through it real fast. I was like stopping and looking, and so I see them and they see me, and then they kind of duck their heads real low real quick, and I kind of laughed at them because I was like, trust me, I'm not going to run over to you and ask for your autograph because I don't watch your show and I'm not all that crazy about you guys. But I found the humor in that, though, that they saw that I looked at him and they probably were afraid, he's going to come over here and ask us for an autograph. No.
Not the case. So on Universal Studios, did you see the Jaws? The Jaws thing coming up out there. Yeah. One of the things that impressed me was driving through the, it wasn't sets. It was like all costumes and sets and stuff like that. But
props and stuff like that.
Yeah, props. They're huge, gigantic, and there's multiple ones. So it's like, hey. Let's see. Funny conversation. What came first?
I got to visit the set when Lois and Clark was still on TV, and I remember liking that show because it was Superman, obviously. So I got to see the Daily Planet and all that sort of stuff. And I saw what was going to be a set that was used in the movie with Val Kilmer as Batman, which was Batman Forever, I think. And when I saw what was going to end up in the movie, it didn't look like what it looks like in the movie because they hadn't finished it yet. But it was like this real tall set, indoor set. And so when I saw the movie, I was like, that was the thing I was in. Oh, that's interesting.
That's cool.
And then we watched the episode eventually of Coach that we were at the taping of, and I could hear me laugh at one part.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was cool. I was like, that's us.
That'd be fun. Man, that got so expensive now. It used to be affordable, it seemed. But
I don't think you had to pay for it when I went. No, because if you went to a place of business in town, they had free comp tickets. The only thing was you got in line. Now, if you didn't get in soon enough, then you weren't going to make it.
Right. I was thinking about the tour of Universal Studios.
Yeah, that stuff cost.
It's almost like going to Disneyland.
Is it that bad now?
Yeah, it's about the same.
I don't know what it cost back in those days.
It was fun. That was a lot of fun. Hey. How's it going, man?
It's well,
So are you gonna like take over here in a few minutes and
in just about 30-some seconds. Yeah.
Sad we didn't get any callers today, but I enjoyed our hour together.
I guess we're not talking about the things that people really care about.
Yeah, like I was trying to get into some newsy stuff, but it just didn't kind of happen. So anyway, John Statham is coming.
Yes, Larry Bird.
He's coming here. And he's going to entertain you for the next hour, and then I'll be here for 10.
You had a great hook shot. I just wanted to let you know.
I know. All right. Take care. Thank you, Farmville. This is WFLO. 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 WFLO.